Hello, welcome everybody to this beautiful session of RMAI web series. My name is Raja. I've worked a lot of my life career with rural, and I'm also the so-called secretary, honorable secretary for RMAI, and rural is a passion for me. And today we are going to discuss कि हम कहाँ से कहाँ चले आए. So, what kind of briefs we used to get, and now what is happening within this change period, and especially the period of COVID, which has taught us a lot of things. I am today joined by people who actually buy, use, live, work on the client side or the media part of it. And our idea is to explore that if there are clients or if there are brands which are newer, what are the kind of options do they have? We've in rural we've always talked about the man and the van, all the wall painting, or going there and showing flip charts or doing demos. Have we moved out of that space? Are we more into digital? Are we more into phygital? So today I have Kalpana from Impact. She's a chief operating officer. Again, worth of experience she has seen a lot of things grow when we used to get, and you will hear that from her. Specific brief, हमको हाट में जाना, हमको मेला जाना, हमको wall painting करना. From there, how brands have moved into the other space. I have someone who's young mind, who's worked in BTL space, who's worked in the activation part of the brands, and now finally holds a fort of arms digital. Ritesh is a champ in when it comes to numbers and understanding consumer need and how delivery to the rural segment is happening. So welcome Ritesh, and then we have Vikas from Tata. He has also a vast experience on brands, big brands, and how they consume media. So we're going to open up the sessions. Keep asking questions. Once again, welcome everybody, and let's try and make it something which the people whom we are not seeing but they are seeing us. How can we be helpful to them in planning media? And I will again start by saying that when we started rural, uh, the video on wheels used to be the champ at that time because everybody said there is no television there. So this van with a big projection screen will land up in a village, show some kind of a drama, and in between you will have ads. Same ads which you could see on television. Then somebody gave them gyan that look, this is not being comprehended well. You have to have communication developed, material developed specifically to that audience so that they can understand it. Otherwise, they don't understand what you're saying. It's too high. And from there, we started moving with using data, what are media dark, वहाँ कुछ पहुँचता नहीं है. Also, the things like uh, with all the media available, press, TV, cinema, radio, you could only cover 34% of rural, at best. So what was, and that's how most of the clients, bigger clients, used to spend money on the network, on the distribution network itself. कि बोर्ड लगा दो, बिल बोर्ड लगा दो, दुकान पे कुछ कर दो, सेल्स में कुछ उनको नंबर दे दो, कुछ छूट दे दो, गत्ते पे कुछ ट्रांसफर कर दो. All those kind of things which marketing gimmicks are there. They would rather spend it on the marketing channel than spending on the consumer channel, and or creating some kind, because it was always we are looking for an additional sales without realizing that this is the sales, it's not the additional sales. And slowly we started getting into consumers life, we started getting into demos, we started getting into telling people what the brand, giving them a brand experience. So Kalpana, I'll start with you. uh, you've been a veteran in the field. Tell us how the briefs are different over the 10 years or 15 years of life, how the briefs are different, how the client desires are different than what it used to be. Kalpana.
Yes, sir. So I just said I would start with that. First, I'd like to page what we are considering today as rural. So we're talking about 840 million population, 36 union territories, 707 districts, 6 lakh plus villages, 68 population percent of population is contributing in GDP. 17 crore households. Literacy rate now has reached 67%, 50% of GDP contribution. And I must gladly share that the clients who are engaging with me are giving me bigger businesses for rural. And why did I put this data was for this reason. Next big thing that I would just say that as a rural marketer, that what I go back and what I try to actually collaborate with clients is that 63% of our population, especially in rural, is below 30. So these young minds, young people were born or they were probably of 9 years, 10 years, 12 years then when they saw this mobile phone, when they had this advent of mass media. Now, also online figures are telling you that 71% of them are doing some online purchasing. Now, also every third person has a personalized mobile device, and here I have a divide. I won't say the information is asymmetrical. It is in a sense that you have feature phones also there, and that is one of the considerations that brands have to keep when they are reaching out to rural. Today, as a conscious person, as an agency, I bring a digital leg to a physical activation, even to a visibility drive. Please leave a toll free number and ask them to call you for a service. Ask them कि एक्सपर्ट इंजीनियर से पूछो कि कौन सा सीमेंट कितना कितना लग सकता है. So it is working, and we are asking brands to consider physical to acquire the consumer space, which is must and mandatory because rural consumer yet has to mature on a lot of categories. But please bring digital as a sustenance part of it. Please bring digital, what actually keeps him going with your product. So that's my first thing. So, and brands, I would happily would say that consciously down, I think I will give credit to Tata. Tata Kisan Sansar was the first one when I did activation for them, and we started a loyalty club, which in those days we called the campaign Sparsh, just miss call us. हमें सिर्फ एक मिस कॉल करें, and that's how we acquired a huge farmer base and then started selling through call center online. And my journey was 7 years back. It was one of the very, very awarded programs, and it was scaled up in Tata Agrico. So things are changing, but very proactively past 5 years and past 2 years, huge shift. Lot of health tech companies. So I work with two big health tech companies where the is being practiced, and they are very booming to brands. Then with four agri companies who actually are not asking me to do much on demo plotting and all that. They ask me to reach a village, do YouTube lives, ask them to download our app, look at the notification, and also they have these programs like lol dukaan se pucho. So then they're binding them to today. So a lot of change, and covid ke 2 years ke baad mein, I feel like today when I'm just talking to you, a greater percentile of business, I would say rather 90% of the business has one digital name as a BPO, and it is across. I told you agri companies are shaping phenomenally for this, and so is the pharma and rural health. So
Good,
those
good.
are my opening
Uh,
remarks. Past two
Yeah, yeah,
years have
yeah.
done a
We
phenomenal.
will we'll take it forward from there. Let me speak to Vikas now. Vikas, how are clients consuming media? Are they still into that traditional media plan? कुछ प्रेस ले लो, कुछ टीवी ले लो, कुछ ये ले लो, थोड़ा बचे तो रूरल भी कर लेना, बोर्ड वोट लगा लेना, और they're getting specific because the, we don't get into any debates anymore. गांव कितने हैं, कितने उनका percentage hai, ya what kind of incomes they have, what kind of monies they have. We all know that urban may fail, but rural are not failing. Even in COVID, even everywhere, they've been working agriculture, उनका खाना पीना रोजी रोटी चल रही. So nothing has failed there. So how are clients taking it? I mean, especially I'm interested in the FMCG sector because I'll tell you why. Whenever we used to travel a lot, और हम जब ट्रैवल करेंगे तो हमको वॉल पेंटिंग दिख जाती थी, कोई ना कोई वैन वाला दिख जाता था जो ढाबे पे लगा के खाना खा रहे हैं या समथिंग, you'll find these guys happening. Off late I find nothing. I don't find so much of activity happening in rural. So where are they? Are they not doing it, or they're doing it something which we don't know? Because
Sure, sir. So, sir, I think the most important thing that we have to understand as of now is uh, over last decade, it is not the only urban consumer who has changed; it's the rural consumer who has also changed. Now, by virtue of being into rural, soul remains soul. The way they used to behave, they are still behaving the same way. However, the consumption of communication has changed over a period of time. As you said, we are not seeing many, wall paintings, many hearts and all. It is just, I think, because of last 2 years. Previously, all organizations which are more dependent into the products which are specific to rural, they were doing it, and I'm sure they will do it again also. The reason being, rural consumers are more specific into details, and they don't get options to get those details from any ready reckoner the way we operate. So for them, it's the wall painting which gives a top of the mind recall again and again, and the companies will do it again, and we are also doing it as an organization. We still are doing it. Second is the value for money for a marketeer. It's always important to see the ROI. Every state is different in terms of the consumption of media. Barring few exceptions, I would say maybe Punjab or some northern states, but there is always a difference in the state media consumption content. So it's always easy to make sure that you have a uniform communication through these BTL activities, primarily the van, the feeder markets, which you have a lot of influencers in the trade who are sitting in the larger outlets and influence the walk-ins and the regular consumers through the media that we give. It could be also could be
sorry, lost you. Is it only me, or others can hear him?
No, no, it looks like
No, no,
there's
not
some
able to
technical
hear
issue.
him. Forgot.
Okay, because see, we can't hear you. Maybe we get back. You get back to us once your connection is good. Meanwhile, I'll move to Ritesh. Ritesh, uh, tell me, we worked on BTL. You have seen activation of brands. You've done planning deep down rural for clients like Western Union, for Reliance, for all those kind of people. Done actual activation with people. Now, when COVID says don't collect crowd, don't do this, mela mat lagao, rela mat lagao. So people started moving to digital or some other options. Now, how good or bad in terms of FMCG or any rural brand digital is? How will they help?
So to start with, I think I loved what you said, and I was noting it down. You said video on wheel was started, right? Even today, if you look at reality, it is video from a digital point of view, which is YouTube or Moj or Josh or TikTok, whatever it may be. When we used to go on video on wheel on ground, we used to talk in the language of that or city or tone dialect, right? Vernacular is the next reality. We are seeing that digital content also growing vernacular. So it is again video on wheels in that format. And then voice is the only additional part which is coming now, right? Which is audio is also growing. So I wanted to say that things have not changed. Principally, formats are changing and evolving to a large extent. So with that opening remark, uh, as you know, digital how it is helping of us. Obviously, it is personal communication. It is one to one, one to many. Both is happening at the same time. People to come together. It is one to many. yet we're giving experiences. I think the example which was being discussed also earlier was that, like, shampoo example we were talking about, going and giving experience to a woman in a village how the shampoo works good for her, or how a particular any other product which was good for them. Similar are being delivered through digital also. So is digital today, will digital rather take innovation? The answer is no. Will they work together and achieve the goal for a brand? The answer is yes. It is not either or, it is together and therefore winning formula.
So you're saying that it's supporting the mainline or supporting whatever other activities also you're doing.
Yep.
How will
So,
this work?
from a marketing principle point of view, reach and frequency, as we talk about, right? Whether if we say that we are using activation for reach for once, then frequency builder is digital. If we say, hey, we want to use digital for reach, then we are saying that experience delivery, experiential marketing piece is coming through activation. So it will depend how we look at it, but yeah, it is complementary totally.
Can you hear me? No.
Now we
No,
can
Jaji, I
hear you.
Yeah,
lost your question.
yeah, yeah.
Uh,
Now,
the
okay.
signal. Kalpana, let's get back to you. And when you are saying that there's the brands which, especially I am focused on FMCG and very low paisa,
Yeah.
like 5 rupee brand, 2 rupee brand, 3 rupee brand, sachet kind of a thing. ये brands बहुत active रहते थे rural में.
Very true.
Why? I find their absence today. Is it only me who's feeling it? But as a practitioner, as a media house owner, what is your reaction to that? Why are they not advertising? Why we don't find that kind of activity which is happening there?
So, so if I मैं विकास का भी ब्लॉन्ड बात करूंगी. So tea, snacks, biscuits, personal care products and all that. See, one thing we have to remember: past two COVID years have been really, really bad with regard to we could not congregate, we could not have meetings, and we could not outreach the women gatherings for that matter, or what we would do ki chai pe charcha, etc. So those kind of things could not happen for past 2 years. If you're talking about, if I have to go slightly back, uh, pre-COVID, and then I'll say what happened this year, because I don't include it into, because we didn't experience lockdowns and all that. We say we actually have been outreaching the brands. We say the consumer is on the revenge back. So we're talking to them, please go मेला. रूरल बोल रहा है कि अब कब तक हम मेले नहीं जाएंगे, कब तक हम हार्ट को नहीं अपना करेंगे. So the congregations are booming, and uh, brands are outreaching. I'm seeing you're once again talking that precisely talk to FMCG. I think FMCG these days is proactively more taking retail routes. So trade activation is very high on their cards. Then rural retail seeding programs are very high, and these are combined with some consumer activation. So till date, we are not getting entry into schools. There are mandatory orders within the rural ecosystem that do not unnecessarily gather either at Anganwadi centers and all that. So brands are keen to outreach. The consumers also love engagements. I would like to point out one small good thing for the brand's delight. So I would say at times we had to do a special exercise. बोम्बू ले लो, एक चक्कर लगाओ, गांव में सबको बुलाओ, दोबारा बुलाओ और तिबारा बुलाओ. No, now it is not happening. Because it is there was some sort of, I would say, a good gap of 2 years that people have not been outreaching them. अब आप वहाँ पे एक we do one activity for one of the personal grooming brand in your FMCG category. We talk to men. Okay, so it's on a shaving product. एक बोम्पू से आपका युवा किट हमने बनाया हो, एक बोम्पू लेकर के खड़ा हो जाता है, puts a kiosk, asks them to come with your smartphones, asks them some age, some preferences on the shaving, and they walk away with a gift which talks about SMS, gives them a link, watch out on the YouTube. जब तुम अपनी interview की तैयारी करोगे, when you go to a college admission, how do you tackle a ragging and all that? Brands are experimenting, and I think for a good, agencies also are actually, actually, I'm saying that, coming up to that, meeting those challenges. Kits बना रही हैं, युवा है, मित्राज हैं, there's something like Queen, Rani. These small one promoter led, kit led, go there. So how do we make a coverage? Is get one small cab, omni van, put 6 people, put them in 6 different villages. They are outreaching in small groups and doing their activities. Coming back to your question, FMCG companies are more concentrating on retail selling because there has been that, gap, and that string of supplies had broken. So, how much dependency on wholesale can be reduced is something that brands are outreaching us. We're more proactively working, engaging retailers. Once again, the blend is, हम जाते हैं, इनाम पाओ, दुकान सजाओ, वो भी करते हैं, उसके बाद उसको व्हाट्सएप पे प्रोफाइल भी लगा देते हैं कि आज मेरी दुकान, गुडनेस की दुकान. So therefore he is keeping Britannia product, and then also we're taking him to YouTube. ठीक है, परफेक्ट ड्राइव. तो अगर आप पूरे 3 महीने ये रखेंगे तो आपको एक मोटर बाइक मिलेगा, एंड व्हाट्सएप कॉन्वर्सेशंस आर हैपनिंग. सो ब्रांड्स आर रिडिफाइनिंग. आई टोल्ड यू द ब्लेंड. बट वो अगर हम सोचते हैं कि अगर रिटेलर का डेटा है और फिर हम सब कुछ उसको फिजिकल से डिजिटल से समझाएंगे, वो नहीं होगा. सो ड्रॉप इन एंड सस्टेन द एंगेजमेंट. वांट टू get out of that activation, the objective, lay the activation objective, and sustain it for a more period. I think COVID actually has also got us out of complacent place. Merely reaching there is should not be the trick, or increased frequency. Why not sustaining those conversations, those memorable experiences? तो अब आप वहां पे एक डेमो प्लॉट पे करते हो तो यूट्यूब लाइव कर रहे हो, तो एक गांव को पहुंच करके 10 गांव ही होता है. यूट्यूब लाइव पे बहुत सारे भी किसानों को समझ नहीं आता कि क्या करना है, बट स्टिल one activity is giving you a larger outreach, and that's something fantastic that has happened. So while yes, we
Because
say a decade of, but I see the 2 years have been very phenomenal in bringing this change.
I'll come back to you. We lost you also in between. Your audio was not there. Uh, what I need to understand, in my experience, we've seen there are two kinds of clients. One says, "Bech do, just sell it. Give me some incremental sales. I'm not bothered what you do." But there are some who believe in making relationships. You know, uh, they will also sell because we are there for to sell only. Will be they used to say we sell or else. You know, we will
True.
have to sell. But are they engaging them as a brand? My again, this question is more like if you go to agri sector, say you have these major brands like Bayer, Syngenta, Monsanto,
True.
DuPont.
Very true.
Nobody sells a brand. They sell one thing, one formulation, which they will sell for 2 months, 3 months. They will not be present rest of the year. Very strange kind of media habits they will have. So how does the atmosphere work when you are seeing it from a client's room?
So I think I will cover both the things to one by one, sir. One is FMC side, second is agri. I have some experience in agri also as a graduate, and then worked with some of the consulting companies in the previous years. So in FMCG, the first of the important thing is it's evolution of the categories, which we actually forget. As a seller, we forget what is the stage of evolution of the category. Generally, what we talk about, experiential part in the rural market happens in the initial stage when the category is developing. Category, awareness is not there. Then you have to get into the awareness part through the experiential norms. You do it through hearts, you do melas, and then you give activities where consumer come and experience that factor. Now over a period of time, in last, I think, over 15-20 years, most of the categories have evolved and the penetration has gone very high. For example, hand wash category. In last 2 years, the hand wash category, which was only 15% in urban and around 4 to 5% in rural, has gone to 100% in urban. almost 100% in urban. Sanitizer, almost 100% in urban. So the category evolution has happened over a period of time. And hence, as a marketer, or as a seller, or as a salesperson, the objective has to be redefined in the rural market. What I'm supposed to do at this stage of time, and what is going to be my communication and the media use. So, as I said in the beginning, also, the soul will remain soul. The basic activities of art, wall painting will remain with FMC clients. But yes, the use of digital will always change, the entire gamut over a period of time. Depends upon the segments. For FMCG, it's difficult to use because the cohorts are not very clear because totally different. But yes, sectors like healthcare, sectors like finance can have clear cut, demarcation. Coming to agri sector, as you said, agriculture is very very influence led sector. It is not only the media will define. It is the influencer, the person who gives credit to the farmers, the person who sells herbicides, pesticides and the seeds. uh, as you said, they come for 3 4 months and they are out of the business. The reason is you get rabi and kharif, and then intermittent crops happens. So what they do is they do the trial plots and they call the influencers and show what is happening in the trial plot, what kind of output is happening through this formulation. Now the formulation is one which is general for all, but the names are different. Now who plays the major role is the seller, the guy who sells it. Now, if you go to Punjab, I mean, I'm quoting this example because I've seen personally the person who sells, the pesticides, he will ask the first question, what is the total landholding you have? Now, he will ask, what is your total landholding? Your own and then rented.
Yes.
आपने किराए पे कितना लिया है? Then he will put the economics part to this guy. Boss, ये तुम्हारी जमीन है. Put the best out of this. This is the formulation. Try this best, and this give you revenue, for next 2 to 3 years in terms of nutrition and all. The land which you have acquired, or maybe it's on rent, don't invest much, use this. So influencers, play a big role. Now organization says use 30 ml per acre. He will say, यार 30 क्यों डाल रहा है, कपास है ना तो 60 डाल, उपज दुगनी आएगी. This you will find in Batinda and all, the belts. Then what happens, the farmers always think that, yes, okay, the communication is happening right way because he's interested towards my business. Let me use that. So that's the way the communication happens in rural also. While they do a lot of vans, they do a lot of, activation in rural also. But yes, it's specific to the season of the crops.
Good.
Sorry, just want to add one point because I heard so much of activation. तो मेरे अंदर का digital gladiator जागा. The point is that if I have to, if can digital, only work for rural market and help drive sales today, maybe not because of feature phone piece which Kalpana spoke about. But tomorrow, once smartphone penetration grows, then we know what content they're consuming, how much they're consuming, what platform they're on, what time do they log in, what to the time do they log out. Delivering voice video activations precisely one-on-one and driving sales, and specifically referral programs, as was also mentioned, right? In rural belt, we all understand referral programs works better than urban. So driving those referral programs, driving sales program through referrals, all that can happen through digital easily. So will digital challenge activation tomorrow in rural? The answer will be yes. So to Vikas, your point specifically, that today, yeah, I'm totally in the digital world, not tomorrow.
So I just
Like,
want
I
to
agree.
quote one small example. I would want to quote a small example. So we have very, very digitally advanced states. So go to AP and Kerala, amazingly advanced. And especially what happened in these last two COVID years. So from the entertainment, there was a big shift in actually functional information surfing. अब उस वो कहाँ से स्पॉइल्ड फॉर चॉइसेस हो गया, तो आप एफएमसीजी से ही ले लीजिए example. So he saw this Dettol, then he saw Lifebuoy, then he saw Santur. Okay, now it becomes all the more challenging for brands. You are there as an option, and the price wars kitne fight karogi. Now, once again, if you will come back to having some value प्रपोजिशन, मेमोरेबल, एक्सपीरियंस, इन्वेस्टमेंट। ट्रू, अब गाँव-गाँव ना जाइए, पर मेलों में जाइए, हाट में जाइए, बस स्टैंड पे कुछ कहिए उसको। एंड यू नो द वे यू टुडे पैम्पर द अर्बन कंज्यूमर, हम साउथ इंडिया में करंटली आई एम टेलिंग देम, उसने क्लिक पे तीनों ऑप्शन देखे। एंड आई लेट मी गिव यू एग्जांपल, राज सर डज नॉट लाइक, क्योंकि मैं एफएमसीजी कैटेगरी से थोड़ा बाहर आ रही हूँ। मैं एक वेट साइंस कंपनीज के साथ काम कर रही हूँ।
Very
So
good.
they sell these online feeds, online vet on call. They also sell you, आप अपनी भैंस को भी उस पे चढ़ा सकते हो, ठीक है। मैं गई तो मैंने उसको बोला सर दिस विल बी दैट एंड दैट। मैं वहां पहुंची तो उसने मुझे 3 कंपटीशन बता दिया। हमारे यहाँ लोकल भी एक साइट है जिसपे भैंस कटरा कटरी बिकते हैं। दूसरा उसने मुझे बोला क्या आपने एनिमल फार्म देखा है, एनिमल मॉल। So I just searched, oh my God, there's another animal platform. So there is a revolution. The way we have not stopped pampering urban consumer in malls, through hoardings, talking to them through various mediums, you're jacketing your metros, you have placed product in the store, you have it online available, they you have innumerable choice, you stand out by your pricing, by any bonding. What do you want to talk to him through different mediums? Because you have to now face the competition. Trust me, now in rural the brands have to face the competition. आज उसको लाइव हाथ धोने का मतलब लाइव बाई नहीं है, वो आप उसको बोलो। और वी डूइंग दीज रिसर्चेस दैट कि भैया तुम साबुन धोते हो, अब बताओ नाम, माँ का एक नाम आता है, बेटी का एक नाम आता है। सो ब्रांड्स आर टू जॉसल नाउ फॉर देयर शेयर ऑफ मार्केट। विकास सर, हम वो अडल्ट्रेशन कैंपेन करते हैं कि चाय वाय तो पता है, चाय भी
What?
पीते हैं फंक्शनली, क्यों आपको एक वैल्यू प्रपोजिशन करना पड़ेगा। Why would he switch from a local tea to
Absolutely. Yeah. That's
tea?
what I was
It's
saying about
because
the evolution of the category.
No,
Yeah.
So
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 therefore
agree
I'm
with you,
looking.
Kalpana, because in your planning exercise we use something called a flywheel. In the flywheel model, we keep customer in the center, and we have marketing, sales, and customer experience, all three around the customer. Now, what part are we activating for whom? And then
Yes, very
basis the experience we deliver to our consumers, right? We'll get more strangers and prospects, and also we'll get advocates from our customer base only. It's a cyclic motion. So as you were, large part of conversation on digital normally happens around marketing. But fact is, as the example you gave, some other mall, that is the business side of digital. That is also digital. We can call it technology, but that's still part of digital because you have to bring traffic and therefore transactions have to
out
be
and
driven.
out digital marketing out there. It's out and out. Put your katara katadi. That's what they call in Haryana. Amazing. And they tell how you could be duped. What are the FAQs? There is some ration balancing program. There's amazing education.
But
So ये जो
Kalpana,
education समझाते थे वो नहीं करने की जरूरत। Now create memorable experiences in rural. Rural is wanting more. The ante of activation has to go high. That's my
tell
goal.
me something. I am in village, okay, and six shops out of 10 have that Paytm kind of thing stuck on their wall or a thing. या
Mhm.
फिर यूपीआई भीम पे करो। 10-20 रुपए की परचेज, परचेज ऑफ 10-20 रुपीज समोसा, one plate of
Mm.
chow mein is being paid digitally. My
Digital.
problem is very, I am happy with that. I have no problem with that. My problem is somewhere different. If the story reached without you and me, are we out of business?
We are not.
If
I just said that.
tomorrow,
I just
if
said
there is
that.
a
Let me come to
like
this Maggie point
I have,
only. Let me
hang
come to
on,
this
Kalpana,
Maggie point.
let me understand this. I also have Animal on my phone, and I can fix it to my geography. I can have it 50 किलोमीटर्स के अंदर में मुझे भैंस खरीदनी है, गाय बेचनी है,
हाँ.
दवाई खरीदनी है, all is there. And how did I get to know of it? That is the problem. If
So that's
if
what I'm just
if
saying. The
Can I
primary तो करना पड़ेगा ना आपको. हम तो
can,
है ना. That's
can I
what I
I
answer
just
from
said.
FMC side, sir?
करना पड़ेगा
tell me sir.
और ultimate भी करना पड़ेगा.
I
So
don't see
nobody
any
is dying
advertising,
out.
yaar. I don't see any advertising. I don't see a wall painting of Animal. I don't see a flyer. I don't see it on press. It is all happening the same way how we got to know about Gmail.
शायद आप
No,
बिहार में ना
did you
because
did you see a Gmail ad ever? You only know
No,
that
no,
it comes to you
I
with
haven't
reference.
seen, but I've seen the wall paintings of the this. Perhaps
Now,
आपका जो
now.
dairy है, I
So
have seen,
अभी
sir, wherever
अगर
I
अगर
stay.
अगर
आपको
प्रोडक्ट्स
वैसे भी
प्रोडक्ट्स
बिहार में
अगर ब्रांड्स
11% ही है digital.
what
So
even then
it's
in Bihar people
Bihar
are
is coming
using it,
as a
na?
laggard in this. Hmm.
So if even in Bihar people are, how are these new stories coming up in rural without a proper advertising or proper communication kind of a thing? What is that
Sir,
newer thing
TikTok,
happening?
yeah. So, sir, TikTok के
चलो
बदले मोजो
टिकटॉक,
निकाला इन्होंने,
तो
है ना?
हाँ चलो
No, 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 no.
टिकटॉक
I'm just
मोजो,
hear me out.
हमारे ब्रांड
तो
हमारे
थोड़ा
ब्रांड
इमेज
क्यों
तो
नहीं कर
लेना
रहे?
पड़ेगा ना जा जाके.
Sir, if you
Sorry,
allow
sir.
me, I'll answer from brand
ओके
side.
विकास.
If you allow me, I'll answer that from brand side. So, first of all, sir, we have to see the picture into two parts. First is the business houses or the categories already existing in India. Then the newcomers. What you're talking, it's all about newcomers, right? These newcomers has no credential as of now to make sure that they are profitable. They are just a valuation game. The people are doing it. I'm not disrespecting anyone, but I hardcore believe in roti kapda and makan orientation in this country. जब तक ये तीनों sector हैं, we are safe, and all other ancillary business are safe. Why I'm saying this? Coming to the taking a cue from Ritesh point when he said physical can replace. Yes, definitely. Physical the digital can replace the physical part to an extent. But as a seller, as a salesman, my objective is to make sure my moment of truth is also positive. Let's take example from what Kalpana said. Three brands shown to a consumer or a data consumption point, but the moment of truth comes when you have a physical product available in the market. Now, how will that happen? Unless you have an agency who's working for you on the ground for that particular village and making sure you are activating and your point of sale is available, you are done. If it is not there, no media, no digital campaign can help you because you are not there. So, moment of truth is also important, and where the business partners like all agencies and content creators, all the activity guys, they come into the picture and they will remain. For example, people said modern trade will take away business from India, and small retailers will go away. Not going to happen because the soul is like that, and when we need that kind of service in India. Yes, Supesh.
Yeah, Ritesh.
Yeah, so because brilliantly said actually, moment of truth, amazing point. And to Jaji's point also, starting and startup scaling, right? Two different objectives. A bigger company launching a new product or bigger company trying to scale their existing product, different strategies required. And therefore, another element I want to add here in this mix is the product a need product or a want product? Say selling tea, Tata tea, right, is my need product. If I have to buy a refined tea which is being sold or exported only to Japan here, and just as an example, that's a want. To do my want, I have to give experiences. I'll have to do activation. I can have a celebrity having a tea. I can talk about multiple experiences, but still that activation piece, that connoisseur piece will help.
So, okay, let me now again frame things differently. We are talking right now digital, or there's something when we talk of hardcore communication. There's a content, there's a context, and there's a credibility part of it. Who's saying it? Okay. Good old days.
Hmm.
If you saw it on television, you thought this is a credible product. ये टीवी पे भी
True.
आता है. Huh? Now that
True.
TV पे भी आता है, if it gets replaced by memes and reels and stuff like that, do we still go back to TV and say this is credible? I'll give you a very like yesterday I had a talk with one of, I'll not say client, but one of somebody who's in this market, in again the Paytm and the UPI and the Beam market, and they were saying that we also have this service, but nobody is using it. So I said, but I also didn't know that you are having it. So then I asked myself, how did I know about Paytm? ठीक है, जिस दिन नोटबंदी हुआ पेटीएम का एक फुल पेज ऐड आया था. So that's how did we know? Or there was a controversy around it that PM endorsed it. That's how we know. Or then how do we know about UPI, Beam, and others? App consumers are getting information from somebody. There are channels which are more open than we know. and that is something which we need to know. Is TV still relevant? When we made a household survey, and we found that when you if you buy a TV, if you buy a TV set, you get an antenna. This is a free DTH. Whatever free is in the air will come to your house. But when we got into houses and found that they all had paid DTH, you know. Now, when you say paid DTH, imagine a paid DTH means about 350 rupees minimum per month. One, every cell phone, every smartphone of 1 GB data every day. That kind of geo plans come for about 150 or 200 rupees. Okay, 500 rupees on a SEC, BC, R1, R3, R4 just on entertainment
R3,
and
हाँ.
information is quite a huge change, you know. And they're getting this information from this. And we cannot say कि wall painting irrelevant हो गया या television irrelevant हो गया. So when we will create a media mix, how will this happen? Um, will there be only when I'm not able to comprehend this, I'm not able to see that media plan which I used to see. कि चलो प्रेस में इंडियन एक्सप्रेस, हिंदुस्तान टाइम्स और ये ले लेंगे, साउथ में हिंदू भी ले लेंगे, यहाँ पे हम थोड़ा वॉल पेंटिंग कर लेंगे, यहाँ थोड़ा डीलर बोर्ड लगा लेंगे. So we had a package like a bouquet which you will get. But how is it happening today? Is it very different? Because I actually don't find anything very very noticeable from any clients on digital platform. Nothing. कोई ऐसे ही आ जाता होगा उठ के, एक सीरीज बोल के मुझे कहीं नहीं दिखती है कि कैंपेन वाइज किसी ब्रांड की मैंने देखी हो. कोई मतलब व्हाट वी यूज फेसबुक, वी यूज यूट्यूब. So when we are using this, and as my guy who makes this content for us, he says you are only one flip away. वो ऐसे देखते हैं, और इतने में अगर आपने उसका अटेंशन ग्रैब कर लिया तो कर लिया.
Earlier.
Then he will see everything. So he says, boss, it is this, and where are we in this? Where is my sabun tel? Everything is this. So that is where
सर वो
what's your take?
है
है.
है सो पॉइंट इज दैट यू राइटली सेड, जो पुराना टाइप का मीडिया प्लानिंग थी वो मीडिया प्लानिंग आज एग्जिस्ट करती है, हाँ आज करती है, मगर डिजिटल बढ़ गया, डिजिटल फोकस बढ़ गया, दैट इज फॉर श्योर,
The
right?
pie has
Because
increased.
digital gives you,
Digital pie has increased.
yeah, pie has increased clearly. It gives you a sniper. It is not a machine gun approach. So if you have a sniper in your hand and you know your consumer very well, you will obviously pick up a sniper and shoot. So that way digital is helping. Now आपने जो कैंपेन की बात की, हम लोग सोशल मीडिया मैनेज करते हैं बहुत सारे ब्रांड्स के लिए. हर क्रिएटिव एक कैंपेन होता है, हर क्रिएटिव पे इतने घंटे लगते हैं अप्रूवल लेने में, और टीम पूरी लगती है. जैसे ये 1.5 करोड़ का हम प्रिंट का जैकेट बना रहे हो, तो हर कैंपेन जब बनते हैं, 30 कैंपेन बनते हैं हर महीने हर ब्रांड के लिए, उसके पीछे फिर बजट स्पेंड होता है बूस्ट का, जहां पर हम उसको राइट ऑडियंस को, राइट टारगेट को बूस्ट कर रहे होते हैं. सो ये मीडिया मिक्स में ये फाइनर चेंजेस आ गए हैं, जहां पर स्नाइपर आ गई है डिजिटल के हाथ में. पार्ट 1. पार्ट 2, ब्रांड्स आर नॉट डेफिनेटली क्रिएटिंग मीम्स, बिकॉज कंज्यूमर मीम्स बना रहा है, और ब्रांड्स उन मीम मेकर्स को यूज कर रहे हैं टू इंक्रीज ऑडियंस साइज,
Yeah.
टू इंक्रीज रीच, टू डिलीवर मैसेजेस. सो अगर हम टिकटॉक, अगर इंडिया में वर्क नहीं करता, टिकटॉक जैसे ही बंद हुआ है, इतने सारे प्लेटफॉर्म आ गए हैं, मौज जोश एंड सो फोर्थ, जहां पर लोग
Yes.
नए नए इन्फ्लुएंसर बन रहे हैं, हर टाइप का कंटेंट बन रहा है, एन अमेजिंग कंटेंट रहा है. जस्ट वन एग्जांपल, आई वाज वर्किंग ऑन अ पिच फॉर एन एग्री, और पहला वो पिच था, ये 3-4 साल पुरानी बात है, बड़ा पिच था. तो हम लगे हुए थे रिसर्च करने में, इन्फ्लुएंसर्स ढूंढ रहे थे. वी वेंट क्रेजी यूट्यूब पे, इतने लोग, इतना कंटेंट अबाउट एग्रीकल्चर, अबाउट एक एक छोटे छोटे एस्पेक्ट अबाउट एग्री, कौन सी फसल में कौन सा खाद डलेगी, कितना डलेगा, कौन सा कीड़ा लग सकता है, नहीं लग सकता है, सीजनैलिटी क्या है, सॉइल कैसी होगी, हर टाइप का एक्सपर्ट अवेलेबल है यूट्यूब का. हमें पता ही नहीं था. जब वो कंटेंट देखा तो हमारी भी आंखें खुली कि यार ये तो दिस वर्ल्ड इज सो डिफरेंट. People have evolved. Brands are not using them very well. But once that evolution, it has to reach to a scale for brands also to use it. So now it has reached to a scale where brands will start using it, and you will see it more and more in the coming days. And thankfully, COVID has also helped all this.
It has definitely.
Because
Actually, what is out
when the
publicity.
Ritesh says that people will use, I recently had another interaction with clients. They keep calling me because I'm the only retired guy who's available for all chats. So they asked me, कि जब आप when you make an ad film, it has a kind of shine, it has a kind of quality, it has a storytelling ability in 30, 40 seconds. There was a phase in between where we had this something called digital films, which I don't understand why they call it. Everything is digital, but they call it digital films. वो थोड़ी लंबी होती थी, 3 minute, 4 minute, and they were emotional tear jerkers. You know, you will
Hmm.
find the brand right at the end of the whole story. You will not
Hmm.
find brand anywhere else, and you will watch it once. If you like it, you will watch it twice, maybe thrice. Maybe you will forward it to your friend for once, and that's it. End of the story. If today I ask you, okay, give me those three very good digital films, if you can recall, it's difficult. It's a pressure on mind, right? So
True.
what is that very, because what we see on YouTube, what Ritesh said, thousands of influencers, they have a shaking video camera like this. They're talking in any
Yes.
kind of language. बैठ रहे हैं, उठ रहे हैं, कभी mic गिर रहा है. No, not even a proper mic. They have a small mic which they keep putting in their mouth, my mouth. All kinds of shabby things happening. But they communicate. People listen to them. 80,000 views, 90,000 views, lakhs of subscription. Why are clients, you know, staying away from it? Do they think कि हमारी premiumness खा जाएंगे, or we will look very poor if are in our imagery? What is that worries them to get into this avatar?
राज सर,
So
जितना भी किचन
एक
वीडियोस,
मिनट. हाँ,
उसमें तो
हाँ.
आपके एफएमसीजी सारे ब्रांड्स घुस गए हैं. देर आस्किंग एवरी वुमन इज टॉकिंग अबाउट वन इंग्रेडिएंट. उसका मैगी का मसाला खुलेगा, कुछ भी खुलेगा. सो ब्रांड्स आर लेवरेजिंग दीज, they are touch basing these people, but in a is actually because this is so undefined content, so there's a nudge कि मेरा तुम बहुत ही नेचुरली मैगी का वो सैशे खोल दो, उसका हो गया काम. वो कहती देखो आप इसका अच्छी खुशबू होती. द होल कंसंट्रेशन वाज ऑन करेला सब्जी एंड मैगी का मसाला ऊपर से गिर गया. So there is this. So from
If
ironing a
if
proper
adver-
ironing
if
cloth and
advertising if advertising was that simple, if brand placements can do the trick, we didn't need so many ad films. मेरे को नमक डालना, मैंने टाटा सॉल्ट के पैकेट से डाल दिया thinking this is the
mix
advertising.
है,
Th-
influence mix ले लेते हैं.
No, I don't think that works. It's one off because नमक डालना है, नमक डाल दिया. You're not talking brand. हाँ, Vikas, you were saying something.
So, sir, there was a phase in between when you see before this food bloggers fraternity, there was a food channels which was there, right? And a lot of companies use them very very precise way, the way they wanted to do it. Why? The reason was they knew that the projection is going into the regions where the media is available, the consumption is into the right TG, and the way we want to communicate our message of brand is going over there, right? Food is not a very I would say uh, very easy to make. Reason being, everybody has their own taste, culinary preferences, so they make it more uniform across markets, and it happens now. What is happening now, and why the organizations are not using this platform of the influencers, what you're saying, people are taking the cameras and they have followers of 2 lakh and 3 lakh. The reason being is there's no quality control. We will not have the quality control what they will speak, because uh, the influence that they have, you don't know what kind of influence the followers they have. Okay, he's an influencer, but how many, I mean, what kind of followers he's having, we don't know. So who's following him? And at the same time, how many people, how many influencers you will control for such category? Now, what Kalpana said, they're using Maggie and using it. There are people who are using it. Now you see the food bloggers who are doing it. So the first thing which comes is the butter, Amul butter. I don't know, Amul is getting free, publicity out of this. Everybody is talking about, okay, ये एक food Amul का butter डालते हैं, बहुत बढ़िया डालते हैं. Similarly is Maggi masala. So it's something which is, they are getting a free content to create. Nobody is influencing them to the influencers कि ये product choose करो. But It's widely accepted, and hence they are using it. Why organizations are not doing it? One is the ROI. You don't know what kind of ROI you will get it, whether it will go to the right TG, because you probably are a data consumer. But if you're using that product as a consumer or a buyer, then it's okay. If otherwise, it's a waste of money. Second is quality control. Second is supply chain. How will you manage so many people and a correct content for that? Yes, Satish.
जैसे
So,
रितेश वन
so
मोमेंट रितेश
oh,
जस्ट वन मोमेंट
Anji.
जब आप आरओआई की बात करते हो ना आई हैव सीन क्लाइंट्स दोज हु थिंक दैट आज 10 सेकंड का ऐड दिया तो कल सुबह सेल्स कितनी होगी काइंड ऑफ फीलिंग दे हैव which is not the true thing. Digital is the only medium where you can actually measure reach. It gives you
measure it.
numbers straight.
Only until
It
yes.
gives you numbers ये गई कहाँ. तो अगर एक food program है, you can exactly
हाँ,
know
तो
which
कंपनी देख
locations,
रही है.
which locations, which language, which people, कहाँ कौन देख रहा है. Oh, that you will know. You will not. You would have not known if I was doing a folk program in somebody in Samastipur that कितने औरतें आई थी, कितने आदमी आए थे. Can't give you that number. So ROI in terms of consumption of media will be there, but I still find
Absolutely,
that
sir.
there is
In terms of media consumption, it will be there. But in terms of the revenue generation for the organization, the basic objective is to have the revenue generation. If it is not happening in terms of the calculated where you have invested money, then probably the marketing guys always shy off. I myself have
okay.
proposed multiple times to our
I don't.
marketing
That
team. Let's take this.
that's where we.
I think
That's
Hitesh
where
should
there's a
talk about
difference.
geo-targeting and stuff like that. So you have your supplies, we geo-target them, and also ask BTL guys pick up 10 consumers, उनके friends को पकड़ो geo-target. So it's so well seamly. I just said that there is. It is a layer of experiences that brands have to do smartly. So, right pitching into the areas. I'm supplied here. I take qualified consumers through BTL. I geo target, I get their data. I ask them to like this page. You got your geo targeting. You can target them as much as can. You can take them. You can set a promo that, for example, if you buy a pack of whatever for a month, buy a monthly pack and you get this and that. So today, a mix of getting right audience is the first step, is catch him somewhere physically, then catalyze the number, which is Ritesh ji's work. ये जियो टारगेटिंग प्लान लेकर के आएंगे कि ओके आपने औरंगाबाद के डिस्ट्रिक्ट में इस सपत चाय की वाट लगानी है तो चलो लगा लेते हैं. गो pick up great consumers through a tea experience, ask them to say speak something, get them on the Facebook. रितेश जी वहां पे परफॉर्मेंस टारगेटिंग करेंगे, वो उन्हीं के फ्रेंड एंड लाइक माइंडेड पीपल के साथ करेंगे. सो यू रीचिंग द राइट ऑडियंसेस. आई जस्ट सेड दैट as a plan, whilst we will not do the digital, but we tell him that how my activity has a great amplification and go to market level. So this works both for high involvement products as well as works for low involvement products, and brands are doing it. वो उनका कुछ सेल्फी भी बना देते हैं, चलो व्हाट्सएप में डाल दो. इट इज वर्किंग बिकॉज यू एंगेज कॉन्स्टेंटली. अचानक से हम कैलपॉल ऐसे कैसे क्यों मांगते हैं, बिकॉज कैलपॉल ने हमें इतना ज्यादा एंगेज किया है. So brands are engaging on TV, engaging on newspaper and all that. Yes, and once again reiterating, it is now phygital. So your digital will actually overlap everything that you do. Even आपका जो टीवी एड भी कुछ बोलता है कि यहाँ पे कॉल करो, तो फिर क्या कर रहे हैं, यू टेकिंग हिम टू द इंटरनेट एंड whatever you will target, once you have his number and then फिर उसका फेसबुक और ये सब सारा चला जाता है. So digital is something that is evolving, will evolve. जैसे एयरपोर्ट पे आपने सुपर मोस्ट कंज्यूमर के लिए कियोस्क बना रखा है, तो ही एंटर्स देयर एंड देन यू टेक हिम टू द डिजिटल राइड. सिमिलरली बीटीएल रिमेन्स योर कन्वेंशनल. आपको मैं एक चीज और बता दूं, राज सर वापस चेक कर लीजिए इसमें. वो अब टीवी पे विश्वास नहीं करते, मोबाइल तो बिल्कुल ही विश्वास नहीं करते. ओटीपी उनसे मांगे तो जान मांग ली, उसको तो लगता है मेरा बैंक अकाउंट
Absolutely.
खाली हो. लेकिन थर्ड चीज जो, newspaper still has a credibility. So I'm here, whilst I'm a practitioner of BTL, no medium of media can be ignored. So there will be this a mix. Now what was the mix, what was dominant could be slightly, will have a lesser pie. And I am a firm believer that digital has done the kind of revolution that today we are talking and sharing amazing things. It is also going to work this way only in the lives of the brands, into the marketplace we call rural. तो डिजिटल वहां रहेगा.
मेरी मेरी लिस्ट बहुत बढ़ गई है बोलने की. सॉरी.
ओके, प्लीज गो,
I've been
प्लीज
noting
गो.
it down. So start with झाजी के पॉइंट पे, जो जो ब्रांड की रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी वो इमोशनल कनेक्ट की रहेगी, वो नहीं हट सकती. वो इमोशनल कनेक्ट वो उस फिल्म से ही डिलीवर होगा. वो फिल्म डिजिटल पे रिलीज करें, टीवी पे रिलीज करें, कहीं भी रिलीज करें, वो जरूरी है. बिकॉज कंज्यूमर को समझना, उसके इमोशन समझना, जो प्रिंसिपल्स हैं वो नहीं बदल सकते, ना बदलेंगे कभी. रादर अभी ये डिजिटाइजेशन से और इतना इन्फ्लक्स ऑफ टैलेंट से प्रिंसिपल्स कहीं ना कहीं बेस नींव जो है थोड़ी वीक हो गई है मार्केटिंग की, जिसपे एट इंटरनली एट आर्म वी वर्क अ लॉट. बिकॉज वो अगर नींव स्ट्रांग नहीं होगी तो आगे कुछ इमारत बुलंद नहीं बन सकती. तो वो एक पीस है. क्रिएटिव मैसेजिंग, इमोशंस, एब्सोल्युटली इंपॉर्टेंट. नाउ इंटरेस्टिंग पार्ट ओवर हियर आल्सो इज दैट यूसेज ऑफ प्रोडक्ट, वो एक सेकंड सेक्शन है जहां हम फिल्म्स बनाते थे, हाउ टू वाली बनती थी और जो एक्टिविशन में चलती थी, वो हाउ टू फिल्म्स आज डिजिटल पे चल रही हैं. एंड एज कल्पना जी आल्सो सेड, राइटली सेड, कि वहां जाके बोलते हैं यूट्यूब लाइव देख लो, कल को रेफरेंस कर लो किसी वीडियो का, दैट
Explainer
वर्क्स वेरी वेल.
videos, I would
और
call
वहीं
them, these are explainer videos.
हाँ,
You
एक्सप्लेनर आप
explain
कह
it.
लीजिए. हाँ, बट हो क्या रहा है, इन्फ्लुएंसर्स प्लस कंज्यूमर्स, चाहे वो इन्फ्लुएंसर ना हो, वो अपने हाउ टू डीआईवाई ऐसा बहुत कुछ मटेरियल बना रहे हैं. एंड दैट इज हेल्पिंग, दैट इज एक्चुअली हेल्पिंग द ब्रांड. नाउ पॉइंट इज, ब्रांड मे नॉट हैव लुक्ड इनटू एन एस्पेक्ट ऑफ प्रोडक्ट यूसेज इन दैट फैशन. किसी ने नहीं सोचा था करेले के ऊपर मैगी का हम वो पाउडर डाल के खा लेंगे. नोबडी थॉट अबाउट इट, राइट? मैगी नेवर थॉट अबाउट इट. लोग कर रहे हैं एक्सपेरिमेंट. मैगी लेते हैं, उसका मैगी का पकौड़ा बनाते हैं, तल. Nobody thought. Now, why will brands say, "Oh, this guy is doing wrong"? No, let them do it. That's the beauty of digital, because people have their own voices, right? So we are right now as brands, we are scared about certain things. We'll also let few things go, control few things, and things will evolve very well. On the conversion point, e-commerce का कंतार की रिपोर्ट है, IMI 2021 की रिपोर्ट है, that talks about that net commerce in rural India is 30%. Online shopping in rural India is 13% now. Now, that 13%, obviously, we know feature phone penetration is more, smartphone is less. Again, need-based buying is more, want-based buying is less. But things are changing. Things are changing. Are
कैश ऑन
things
डिलीवरी हो
measurable?
रहा
Will
है,
digital
कैश
deliver?
ऑन डिलीवरी हो रहा है, कैश ऑन डिलीवरी हो रहा है.
हाँ,
वो अपने लिंक नहीं करते हैं अकाउंट्स. सो इवन
बहुत सारे.
वैलेट के
And a
लिंक.
lot of brands are actually लिविंग इन द ओल्ड वर्ल्ड ऑफ सेइंग, हे कॉल मी, आई विल टेल यू. व्हाट्सएप पे इतना बिजनेस हो रहा है आज की डेट में. व्हाट्सएप पूरे
चैटबॉट.
शॉपिंग मॉल्स बन गए हैं व्हाट्सएप के ऊपर, और चैटबॉट्स के थ्रू भी, अदरवाइज भी. सो दैट पीस इज इवॉल्विंग. विल इट रिमेन ऑन दिस स्क्रीन, स्मॉल स्क्रीन? Chat, IM will, instant messaging will take over for sure. That will be a big pie. To your point of influencer specifically, when we do influencer planning, in certain cases, not in all cases, depending on the objectives also, we ask data from influencers. We say, hey, we want to understand who follows you, what market is you are being followed, किस टाइप का मेल फीमेल जेंडर रेशियो क्या है, लैंग्वेज क्या है, बिकॉज ऑन डिजिटल यू गेट अ लॉट ऑफ डेटा. We take that data and then plan. And so does influencer marketing has a sense to planning? The answer is yes. We can also set context right. I'll give you a simple example. Today, if celebrities are called for openings, celebrities are called to send a message, right? Today, these digital celebrities are available at a cheaper price. If think of this, let's say, just an example, I'm saying Lallan Top, right? If you get to know YouTube analytics के through, Google analytics के through, data about London Top's reach. If you get these, obviously Hindi speaking belt is high, but in Hindi speaking belt, maybe there is Bihraich जहां पर से ज्यादा फॉलोअरशिप आ रही है वर्सेस कहीं और से. तो आपको पता है कि मैं लल्लन टॉप को जब वहां लॉन्च करूंगा एज अ सेलिब्रिटी ले जा सकता हूं. And that cost of celebrity will be cheaper than any other celebrity, or let's say Amitabh Bachchan for that matter. So therefore, there is enough and more which one can do with, digital coming together and digital alone as well.
So Vikas ji, Bundelkhand is where you will have Lallan Tops. सारा फॉलोइंग है उनका, खतरनाक,
I
उनके
slightly
लिए खतरनाक।
disagree
I
again,
don't think that.
Ritesh. The reason is supply chain. I completely agree. It's a
Yeah,
sharpshoot.
yeah, yeah.
Where is person sitting, but imagine how many people, how many regions. The combination. We generally work on Excel. The sales guys do work on
Nash,
Excel and see the combinations you have to manage. It's slightly difficult,
micromanage.
and yeah, it is going to
That's
take
where
away
the
a lot of
opportunity
energy.
also is, right? That's a constraint you're talking
Yes,
about, but therefore
so
there's an
Yeah,
it's about the
opportunity as well.
category. So Ritesh,
you
I
can give
probably
them
would
test
say if there
markets
is a
and all
category.
to them.
Yes, some categories where you think it's a make or break for you. Let's say I will not talk about salt or some other category. A category which is into personal care, probably जहाँ sir ने बोला shampoo and all. So if shampoo is a key category for you as a producer and you're losing market share in a particular state, now because of digital, you know that this only particular district can make or break for you. Then probably it makes sense to you go for
Yeah.
digital. But for a category which does not have a synergy, where probably the influencer will have followers and they use data, but the buyer is somebody else. हो सकता है 18 से 24 की एज वाले वो डेटा कंज्यूम कर रहे हैं, बट खरीद के तो उसकी मम्मी लेके आती है और दादाजी डिसीजन लेते हैं। सो क्योंकि वो महीने के एंड में पैसा लेके जाते हैं, वहां पे आड़त के पास जाते हैं, वहां से पैसा लेते हैं और वहीं से राशन लेके आते हैं। रूरल की बात जब हम कर रहे हैं, तो इन्फ्लुएंसर ने कंजम्पशन तो करा दी डेटा का, बट वो कन्वर्जन नहीं हो रहा है बिकॉज द बायर इज टोटली डिफरेंट। So then the supply chain management is also a critical part that we
हाँ,
have
so
to
नहीं,
do.
वो हम
Even they
इन्फ्लुएंसर
are,
दूसरा चुनेंगे। इन्फ्लुएंसर वो सेलेक्ट करेंगे
even,
जो मम्मी फॉलो
yes,
करती होंगी, बच्चा नहीं फॉलो करता होगा। एंड सेकंड पॉइंट इज देयर इज ऑलवेज अ डिसीजन मेकर एंड अ इन्फ्लुएंसर ऑफ दैट डिसीजन आल्सो इन द फैमिली। And
True.
today's youth is influencing a lot of decisions. And then
Ritesh,
obviously planning can happen. Just to last piece is, आप कल्पना और मुझे आप एक बिजनेस दो, हम आपको टर्न करके दिखाते हैं।
Ritesh, I'll just tell you one example, and that tells you how we do it. So you have this gadi, अपने गड़ी है ना, गड़ी अजमाओ और जो भी है. So they have got with
हाँ,
one slightly जो आपका लक्स का प्रीमियम है उसको मतलब उस सेगमेंट में उनका वेनिस करके सोप है. ओके, सो नाउ दे नो इन रूरल कि ये नई नवेली दुल्हन खुद तो शॉपिंग जाएगी नहीं और अगले 2 साल भी इसको कभी भी ग्रोसरी पे जाने को नहीं मिलेगा. तो द होल डिजिटल कैंपेन इज देखो उनकी नजरों से अपने आप को. सो दिस द होल
wow.
टोनैलिटी इज द जेंटलमैन बाय दिस सोप फॉर हर. सो इवन दैट इज टेकन केयर पार्ट ऑफ दैट. अगर ये लड़की खुद प्रोएक्टिवली नहीं बाय कर रही है तो डिजिटल इंसाइट्स एक्चुअली सॉरी द फिजिकल इंसाइट्स आर बीइंग got on the ground, and every medium will live up to that challenge and do it. I'm saying that we cannot do away with any medium. अगर आपको किसी भी ब्रांड को अगर बोलना हो कि भैया ये अब इस पे सब्सिडी मिलती है, we'll go to that section. Even the higher involvement newspaper ad will do the trick, not the digital. Even if you say वो बोले कि पता नहीं fake है क्या, even if it is from accredited site, they have no sense. आपको अखबार में उस अगर supposing ITC agree board where you have worked, if they have to launch a product, they will go and launch it in the newspaper because the credibility of it being true now is with newspaper. So
So the
no
mix will be depends on the category also, Kalpana. I think it's not only for all categories.
Category and
Personal care
objectives.
probably needs it.
Objectives also.
Yeah. So personal care category where you have 4 people at home, they have different brands to use. Then probably digital can play a role. While when the consumption of steel or cement, I don't think that will make sense because the influencer is sitting at the main market. He's got a wall branded with all cement brands, and so again it depends upon the category
So
objectively
विकास, मैं
also.
आपको
But yes,
एक
digital.
एग्जांपल देना चाह रहा हूँ। सो एक एग्जांपल, मेरे को ना अभी एक ब्रीफ आया, बड़ी इंटरेस्टिंग ब्रीफ आया। चेन्नई में एक म्यूजिक कंपोजर है, ए.आर. रहमान का काम करते हैं। कोविड टाइम में म्यूजिक क्रिएशन का काम थोड़ा कम हो रहा था। सो ही इज अ इंजीनियर एंड बर्कली म्यूजिक स्कूल से ग्रेजुएट है। सो इंजीनियरिंग ब्रेन भी है। तो उन्होंने एक पैडल बनाया है कीबोर्ड का, which is a professional paddle. Can't reveal more details, but is an amazing. Patent करा लिया है. Now his idea is to sell only to music composers throughout the world, right? मैं थोड़ा रूरल से हट रहा हूँ, बट मैं इसलिए हट रहा हूँ बिकॉज मैं आपको स्पेसिफिसिटी बता रहा हूँ कि वो म्यूजिक कंपोजर ढूंढना है खाली, और कोई नहीं ढूंढना है। सिमिलरली हम रूरल का एग्जाम्पल भी ले लें, जैसे आप अभी बोल रहे थे, इतने सारे आर्किटेक्ट हैं जिनको दुनिया फॉलो करती है, इंटीरियर्स के लिए फॉलो करती है, और वो आर्किटेक्ट है अलग अलग लेवल के अवेलेबल हैं। फार्म हाउस बनाने वाला आर्किटेक्ट अलग है जो यूट्यूबर है या वो इन्फ्लुएंसर अवेलेबल है, कोई एक बंगलो बनाने वाला या अपार्टमेंट बनाने वाला अलग है, राइट? तो वो और आई एम श्योर अगर सर्च करेंगे कोई ना कोई हमें मिल जाएगा जो बिल्कुल एग्री की बातें भी कर रहा होगा इन टर्म्स ऑफ फार्म लैंड, कैसे करो, कितना बनाओ, कैसे कट मारो। आई डोंट हैव मच नॉलेज, आप लोगों को सब पता है इस बारे में, बट पॉइंट मिल जाएगा। तो अगर आप हमें प्रिसाइज स्पेसिफिक ऑब्जेक्टिव दोगे तो उस स्पेसिफिक ऑब्जेक्टिव के साथ वो रिसोर्स मिलना आसान है, बिकॉज डिजिटल हैज गिवन वॉइस टू पीपल एंड पीपल आर एक्सप्रेसिंग लाइक हाउ, and that expression is being praised and praised by followers.
Then Ritesh, it is a segment of the category. I mean, just going back to the, if it's cement or if it's steel or it's balu or not balu, which is not branded. So the influencers will, influence only those people who have the affordability. Now in the rural, you will see, you will not find, equilibrium of the type of households. You will find different types of houses. किसी एक के पास ऊपर, जहाज बना हुआ है, किसी के पास कच्चा है, and they're still making it. It's again depends upon the disposable income and the saving that they have. So again, the
True.
segment in which you
True.
operate and the profitability. So probably decision can happen. But yes, agree, digital is the way. But the traditional routes, which Kalpana said, print, where the commitment and the trust is there, will never go. Wall branding, I feel, will never go. Heart activation will never go, I believe, because it's always, believe when you see those things buying a lot of crowd over there, and you trust with those people whom you have interacted for many years, and they are living along with you.
So true,
Just
sir.
one point,
Influence
Kalpana, during COVID times, there was no newspaper circulation, right? Messages of government were being relayed either through TV and then followed by digital. Rather, parallel processing was happening on digital as well, right? हमें पता है इलेक्ट्रिसिटी का सीन इंडिया में क्या है, penetration of
I'm doing
internet is
something
better
very
right now.
interesting. One of the sorry sir, I'm doing one of the very interesting वो विकास जी के लिए तो ये बिजली तार का ब्रांड है, ठीक है, एंड आपने किया रूरल इलेक्ट्रिशियंस के बच्चों के लिए कार्यक्रम, तो शिक्षा ज्योति, इट इज वेरी मच ऑन द वेब, जस्ट चेक आउट दिस जीवन ज्योति शिक्षा से ए सीरीज ऑफ ईयर ऑन ईयर। तो हमने इनको क्या कर दिया, ऑनलाइन क्लासेस दे दी, बुक्स दे दिए, बुक्स के फिर पैसे भी दे दिए कि उनको डाउनलोड करो, बाइंड करो, तुम्हारी बुक भी आ गई, कोविड से मत डरो, पढ़ो पढ़ो, ठीक है। सो फाइनली द कल्मिनेशन वाज विद यूडमी वाउचर्स। नाउ यूडमी वाउचर्स इज felicitating us for seeing that there is 100% usage of those Udemy vouchers. ऑनलाइन कोर्सेज रूरल में बच्चों ने, और किनके बच्चों ने, जो इलेक्ट्रिशियंस है, बॉटम ऑफ पिरामिड, अमेजिंग थिंग्स आर हैपनिंग। एंड डिजिटल, हम जैसे आपने बिल्कुल सही कहा कि अब इस तार वाले ब्रांड को बहुत तार वहां चिपकानी हो अपने ब्रांड की, ही हैज डन द अमेजिंग जॉब विद द इलेक्ट्रिशियंस। डिजिटल कहाँ कितना कैसे, अब तार डिजिटल सबको तार बनाते फिर रहे, तो no, everybody is not my consumer, I'm not a mass product, but what influence system I have to pick from the digital, and
Yes,
what is the
absolutely.
need gap. Digital is,
And you
I'll
align
send
with
you
your
that
brand
case
objective.
study.
That's what.
या तो ये अब वो भी आप बोलिए कैसे, तो अब इस इलेक्ट्रिशियन को
That's your
पहले
view.
एनरोल किया जाके, अब वो अपनी लड़की का नाम न दे, जाके जाना पड़ा, बोलो क्यों मेरी लड़की की डिटेल क्यों ले रहे हो, why will I give photograph, why will I give her phone number.
Yeah, absolutely. Privacy
तो
is
फिजिकल
always a
में कर लिया, उससे फिर यूडेमी कर लिया, तो इट्स अ
So
मिक्स।
again, I am saying whatever however fast the digital thing is going, you still need a bouquet of other items also. You will need some
Yes,
wall
very
painting, you
true.
will need some
absolutely, sir.
hoarding,
The moment
you
of
will
truth
need
will come
some
from there.
radio, you will need some television, and only consolidated with each other, supplementing and giving value to each other in media. Only then it will work. It can't be just digital, can't be just one program, right?
सर वॉल पेंटिंग पे तो
Absolutely.
आपने ये भी बोलना शुरू कर दीजिए ना, इधर मिस कॉल दे और लकी विनर को कार जीतने का मौका है। नाउ योर वॉल
There are all of them. The amount of small ones I have seen, they have that toll free number अधिक जानकारी के लिए, इनाम जीतने के लिए, and people do call up.
So
So
look
we
yes,
are
at
getting
cold
into,
drinks. Where cold drink, they're doing the
it's not
BTL,
fair.
where you have,
It's not
it's going to the rural. The
and
smaller packs, larger
and
packs thing is going to the rural.
a,
They're
a
doing it.
very a
It is a
very
digital
very
part.
known fact is how one of the largest party in the world is working on WhatsApp. So whatever is being said by top leadership by 2 o'clock reaches an edited version of capsule by 3 o'clock to a booth level. By 3 o'clock
Absolutely.
every booth level. So if that communication channel has been designed and is working. I'm looking forward to an entertainment channel which will be on WhatsApp like that. See the difference which is now. पहले क्या होता था कि आप दौड़ दौड़ के घर जाते थे कि हमें 8 बजे न्यूज सुननी है, अगर आपने 8 बजे नहीं सुनी तो फिर नहीं सुनी। अभी वो न्यूज सारा दिन आती है। नाउ आई कैन कंट्रोल माय टाइमिंग, मुझे न्यूज कब सुनना है। and that is where people are saying, I want to watch a match, I want to watch a movie, so I am in control of what will I watch. It was not like what we used to say कि बुधवार को ही चितार दिखेगा, संडे को ही फिल्म दिखेगी। So you are coming from there to a place where the options are far too much. Now with OTT coming, Netflix, Prime Video, and it catches overnight. The message reaches so fast that you're saying missiles, you are saying whatever, it is just blasted all over overnight. We get to know things very fast. So are there any studies which are happening to give credibility to a medium, or how people are using it? I don't see a lot of data and research which is happening around it. But then, well, I guess that's how it is. Adhar, are there any questions? I think we've covered most of it. Uh, gut feel about study, that newspaper and more credible. No, Pankaj, there is no study. That's what we've been talking. We do get to know about how people are doing. Radio. There are three kinds of radios. The AM radio, which we grew up with, is not so popular, but larger cities, FM radios are
Wow.
radios, what you call it, car radios now. So that when you drive, you hear. Because we recently did a survey of about 2,000 households in rural, and we found two radio sets. तो कोई रेडियो सेट एज सच वहाँ पे हमको दिखा नहीं है। And Sanjay sir had said a recent study said 85% of rural literate women studied were found to be using mobile phone without. Sir, I don't know about this. These kind of numbers I see, Sanjay sir, everywhere flashing. Like, this social and developmental sector has this habit of documenting everything like Gaga stories. Uh, I don't see people using mobile phone for studies in a number which can be, talked about. Desire is there, पर डिजिटल पढ़ाई होने लगी है। I'll give you another example. We
I
have
was
a
making that point. I was
sorry.
making that point. I was making that point कि Udemy, it's a very high course जहाँ पे ग्राफिक डिजाइनिंग या कुछ सीखते हैं। उसका 100% हमारे यहाँ पे कोई भी कूपन एक्टिविटी, विकास जी याद करेंगे, ट्रेड में कोई कूपन एक्टिविटी डालते हैं ना, तो एक परसेंटाइल करते हैं तय,
Retention
विकास जी,
percentage.
कि
Correct.
40% रिटर्न होना चाहिए। अब कोई
Retention.
ऐसे यूडमी आपने एक्टिविटी, एजुकेशन एस्पिरेशंस चेंज हो रही है रूरल में सर। आई एम जस्ट सेइंग, आई वुड रियली वांट टू सम अप, लाइक आई एम सेइंग अवेयरनेस, choices, aspiration, and influence systems. This decade has seen a tremendous and humongous change in the rural. तो अगर आप ये फिर से सोच रहे हैं कि ये सिर्फ भोजपुरी या सपना चौधरी का डांस वीडियो देख रहे हैं, नो, फ्रॉम कुकिंग क्लासेस टू क्लीनिंग टिप्स टू एडुकेशन, they are doing this. And since it is in the web space, I can declare KE has got a response कि हमको फॉरेन टूर पे मत ले जाओ. Do these kind
Yeah.
of educational drives through digital, which actually makes information asymmetrical. उसे लगा कि मेरा भी बच्चा भी दिल्ली में बैठा है, वो भी ग्राफिक डिजाइनिंग का कोर्स कर रहा है, तो ये चीज एस्पिरेशन चेंज। और मैं आपको थोड़ा और बता रही हूँ, ईस्ट के कुछ पार्ट, वेस्ट बंगाल, बिहार, मैकेंजी का लेटेस्ट रिपोर्ट देख लीजिए, इनका अपटेक टू डिजिटल इज स्लाइटली वेरी वेरी लो कंपेयर। आपका ईस्टर्न बेल्ट में विज ऑनलाइन शॉपिंग, स्मार्टफोन ओनरशिप, ये 2-3 फैक्टर्स जो है कुछ पार्ट ऑफ इंडिया, बिकॉज ऑल इंडिया इज नॉट सेम। अब एक बार हम
I,
डिजिटल
I,
इंडिया
I,
करें,
I take that data with a pinch of salt, because you have to compare it with few things. If your e-commerce, if your Flipkarts and Amazons and e-carts and others are delivering at the same ratios what the other states are delivering, and suddenly you say that in this particular sector the smartphone or the internet uptake is low, then how is this happening? So there is
There is
a
there
some kind of a dryness on the data, but
there is.
we all know for today that YouTube is the
Sorry, sir.
YouTube is the biggest search engine in rural, especially because of the
Sir,
voice. So वो
yes.
वॉइस में पूछते हैं ताला कैसे खोलें, and they get 10 videos. So
हाँ जी.
Hmm.
it's not about area wise or something. It's how
No,
we
some
see.
states are
And
showing sharper trends, sir.
no, it's not.
Consumption
If you
trends state में differential है, sir.
consumption, if it is my problem is if it is on the same parameter. अगर आप ई कॉमर्स की बात करते हो सिर्फ ई कॉमर्स से कैलकुलेट करो. अगर आप एजुकेशन विद सेल्फ करने से वो डेटा सही नहीं लगता है. It gives me some kind of a headache.
Yeah, it
So
might not be micro sanitized, but
तो
overall,
जाजी एक बेस पे हमें देखना पड़ेगा स्मार्टफोन पेनिट्रेशन बाय स्टेट, वो डेटा अवेलेबल है. आई थिंक दैट इज इन अ वे मोमेंट ऑफ ट्रूथ आल्सो फॉर ऑल ऑफ अस, बिकॉज एंड देन ऑब्वियसली लेयर्ड ऑन टॉप ऑफ इट इज हमारा इंटरनेट कनेक्शन ऑन दो स्मार्टफोन्स एंड यूसेज डेटा.
exactly.
जहां तक ब्रॉड डेटा मेरे पास काफी सारा डेटा है, बट मेरे पास मार्केट बाय मार्केट डिवाइडेड डेटा नहीं है. बट इफ यू लुक एट एंड कल्पना टू योर पॉइंट, कोई कंटेंट सेम है. अब मैं चाहूं बैठ के एलन मास्क को देख सकता हूं किसी गांव से या किसी शहर से, फर्क ही नहीं पड़ता. तो हम सब लोगों के लिए बार सेम हो चुकी है. तो इसलिए रूरल फास्ट ग्रो करेगा और वहीं पर है. 31% पेनिट्रेशन है आज की डेट में इंटरनेट की रूरल इंडिया में, वहीं पर गेन बचा है. अर्बन तो हो चुका है पेनिट्रेट लार्जली, and our focus should be rural for every brand and individuals as well.
270
Good.
million
good,
compared
nice
to
talking,
227.
nice talking to all of you. We've spent very one good hour, and I hope you guys enjoyed it as much I did. I like poking things, numbers, and understanding. I don't understand numbers much, but I do understand. मेरी बेसिक नॉलेज कहती है कि हर एक घर में एक स्मार्टफोन है और उसमें इंटरनेट कनेक्शन है. उसके पापा के पास वो फीचर फोन होगा, पर हर एक घर में इफ देयर इज अ बॉय एज बिटवीन 12 and 16 देयर इज अ स्मार्टफोन. Let's go by that data, and it is
होना चाहिए.
across the country. It is across the country. That's how. And I'm saying poor of the poor, those who live in thatched houses, work as Manrega workers, even they have. They also buy this Geo, that data which has become very free. Nice talking to you all. We must meet up sometime. And Ritesh, we expect a lot of handholding from you for RMAI. Teach us how things are getting different in terms of your. I always keep sending my fellows the things which you keep sending me about digital factors to our RMI members also.
Yeah.
They find it very interesting. Because thank you so much for being here. Fun talking to you. Nice knowing you. And also,
Thank you, sir.
Kalpana, and we are the criminals of this rural world. So we will continue cutting throats and keep understanding from
Thank
each
you,
other
everyone. Thank you,
how it is happening.
everyone.
Thank you, and especially our sponsors, so which and Aadhaar and our RMAI backhold team, Biswa sir, Sanjay sir, everybody. Thank you for this. Lot of series coming up. People do come and ask questions. Understand. You will be able to see this even offline later when the
Yeah.
recording is placed. Thank you, everybody. Nice talking to you. God bless.
Thank you.
Have
Thank
Thank
fun.
you
you,
very
Have a
much.
good day.
Thank you.
Bye bye.